Okay, so if you got your flute in the mail, there's a good chance that the flute got moved around and that it's not necessarily in the best position for it to produce the best sound. So if you took it out of the bag, if you took it out of your box and you try to play it and it's not making good sound, you're probably like, what's going on? Something's wrong with my flute. But there's a good chance that there's nothing wrong with your flute. It just needs to be positioned correctly in order for it to produce the best sound. All right, so I'm just gonna go through the anatomy of the flute real quick. So this is called the bird. This is the bird of the flute. It's also called the saddle or the fetish, but the more common name is the bird. This part of the flute is the nest. So the bird is in the nest. This part of the bird, which is kind of, there's a groove in there, this is called the chimney. And then right in there is a square hole, and that's called the true sounding hole. And that's where your flute is producing its sound whenever you blow through it. That's what you're hearing. That is the sound of the flute. It's coming through this sounding hole right here. So in order for you to get the best sound, you'll need to have this chimney right on the edge of the sounding hole. So this is where it's at right now. Looks like it's in a good position. I'm gonna play this real quick. Good, it sounds really good. But for example's sake, I wanna give you an example of what you might be hearing if it's not in the right position. So I'm gonna move this bird back so that the chimney is way further back from that edge of the sounding hole. Okay, and let's hear what it sounds like there. All right, so if you can hear that, it has this really high-pitched squeaking noise. The sound seems like it's not really very well supported. Kind of has like a muff, like a sound to it. So yeah, the bird is too far back, so it's not, the air is not traveling through it correctly. Okay, and then on the other spectrum would be if the bird is too far covering the sounding hole, so it's moved forward and it's covering the sound hole too much. This is what that sounds like. All right, so we hear there's a lot of squeaking in there. It sounds very constricted, and that's because the bird is too far over the hole and air is literally not able to travel and produce the sound at the way that it's supposed to. So if we move it back to the edge, reposition the bird right at the edge. Let's see what that sounds like. So that's back where it needs to be, where it should be. There's a good chance that you're gonna need to do some micro adjustments when you're trying to find that good sound. So you may not find it, you're kind of looking for it, move it back, move it forward, and then at some point you're gonna be like, okay, that's where it sounds good. And you'll feel it in your body, you'll hear it as you're developing your ears and your ability to know what is a good tone quality. But you'll definitely be able to feel that the air is traveling through very nicely. And that's what they'll call the sweet spot or the perfect spot, where the bird meets that sounding hole. All right, so this was for a single flute. Obviously one bird, one sounding hole, one chimney that you're working with. Now if you were able to get a drone flute, like this one, this is a Maya drone flute. This one's an F sharp tuned to 432 Hertz. Guillermo has a lot of different kinds of Maya drones, high ones all the way to very low ones. These are very amazing flutes. A lot of people really love these as well as I do. And in these cases, then you're going to have two holes, two birds, and two chimneys to work with and to adjust. Okay, so for the drone flutes, you're gonna have two chambers. This left side is the drone chamber. So that's where you're getting that drone sustain tone. It's just one tone that's overlaid over everything that's playing. And you also have this side of the mouthpiece, that's for the drone. And then you have the melodic side, which is the right side. This is where you're playing different notes on the scale. So you have that drone and then the melodic side. And on the mouthpiece, that's that melodic side right there. So you have two of those going on. That's what it sounds like. All right. So for adjusting, it would be the same thing. For the most part, I find that the drone part is pretty steady, mainly because it's just one sustained note. But you'll want to just always make sure that it's still right on that edge so that you're getting the fullest sound from your drone. The melodic side, I've found, needs more adjustment, mainly because you're working with a lot more fluctuation of notes. And so this is the one that I'll usually adjust more on the drones. A good thing that I have found is to just play the melodic side on its own to find the best tone quality for this side of it. So that would be only playing the right side of the mouthpiece. So it'd be like this. And then adjust. And then play just the melodic side, adjust, find where that feels good, and then you can go to both again. You can do that with the drone part too. Yeah, because this one actually does need adjusting. Okay, that's the best for the drone there. Oh yeah, that made a huge difference. So I'm actually glad I only played the drone too. So I would say play both of them together and then switch back to each one individually, do the adjustments, and then find those sweet spots, and then you'll be able to play your instrument at its fullest capacity, and it's just gonna feel so much better after it's been adjusted. This is also a great practice in just connecting with your instrument so that you know exactly what it needs. It's a great practice in improving your ear and being able to see is something off, does something need to be adjusted, and then knowing what to do in terms of maintenance or adjusting to be able to fix what's going on. Guillermo has a lot of really great videos on flute maintenance, as well as a beginner lesson video on his channel, which I'll link in the details of this video. And obviously he's a great resource because he's the maker of these flutes. So I would definitely encourage you guys to check those out. And just know that adjusting your flute is something that you'll need to do every time you pick it up. Your flute is getting moved around all the time. If you put it in your bag, in the little case, it's already been moved. If you move it into your car, it's already been moved. If you move it to your shelf somewhere else, it's already been moved. So get into the practice of every time you pull your flute out, that you do these adjustments, find the best quality, and then at that point you're able to really go into the expressive, heart-opening, prayerful expression of flute playing. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. You can leave comments if you'd like, or send me a direct message. All right, guys, thank you so much, and happy flute playing.